The following program is brought to you with limited commercial interruption.
Today's broadcast is being simulcast in broken English.
I'm here to show the world. I'm here to show the world.
Welcome to the show that we're doing right now.
What the hell are we doing on this show?
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Let's go.
What is this?
Giggity, 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 goo.
Who else but
The Q.
it's showtime? Gentlemen, let's get down to business.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Yeah, I can dig it, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the QNow. You're listening to the best pop culture, current events, current affairs show, east or west of that Mississippi River, hailing from the great city of St. Louis and worldwide at the QNow.com. Got my mouth all messed up there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. My name is Mark Bland. I'm going to let that one ride. And joining me today, as usual, my number one riding co-host, Mr. Jason Kull, is sitting over there. Our friend, Jenna Roberson.
Just stick with Jenna.
I gotta listen. You're running. You're a candidate. You're running for a district.
Maybe that's
63.
what I'll put on my signs. Just say Jenna.
Just say Jenna.
Just say Jenna.
All right, fair enough. For the people out there, how do you pronounce your last name?
Roberson,
as in robbing a house type. Robert.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's what she wants.
Correct.
Roberson.
All over, everywhere. Vote Jenna. It's like robbing a house. You're like, what?
Why,
Idiot.
Jason? Why?
That's the winner right there.
Right?
Well, if
I'd
election
vote for that
night,
person.
if election night 2023 was peak into what is going to happen in 2024, this is going to really make Republicans unhappy.
Smoked.
I went to a Metallica show, and it was a bag of very mixed emotions, Jason. We will discuss this.
Yes.
And they picked another sexiest man alive.
Ooh.
And I am confused. Honestly, I am legitimately confused. All right?
I'm not.
Because Jimmy Kimmel announced People Magazine's sexiest man alive this past week.
And
the winner was, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Patrick Dempsey, a.k.a. Dr. McDreamy from the Grey's Anatomy show.
What?
He says, quote, He says, quote, I'm glad it's happening at this point in my life. It's nice to have some recognition, and certainly my ego takes a little bump, but it gives me the platform to use it for something positive. Patrick says that he was completely shocked when he was first found out, and then he started laughing. And, of course, he fully expects his kids to, quote, make fun of me and pick on me and, figure out every reason why I shouldn't be the sexiest man alive. Patrick, of course, is 57 years old.
And conveniently in a new movie coming out next weekend.
But here's where my problem is, guys. Couple things. Mark likes to rant a little bit.
Yes.
Number one, Grey's Anatomy's still on. Like, it's still out
shocked.
there.
I thought it was done.
I think it's
Like, I thought the show was over. It's done. Like, it couldn't be current so that he's of Grey's Anatomy. Like,
he's not
it's
still
that
on
many
the show.
years.
He's not still on the show, though. He hasn't been in a long time.
Okay, okay. So that makes it
Doing
even
Thanksgiving.
more confusing. Literally more confusing, because also featured in this year's Sexiest Man Alive issue, Pedro Pascal.
Nice.
Oh.
The guy who plays the Mandalorian, right?
So hot.
He's a good-looking guy, though.
I know
Handsome
from
man.
Game of
And
Thrones.
he's a movie star.
farmhand.
And he's a movie star.
Right.
So, like, I feel like that's even a bump on top of Patrick. I've never looked at Patrick Dempsey as a movie star. He's always been a TV star.
He was
to
that
me.
nerdy kid in that movie.
He was in Loverboy, right?
Or
He was in Loverboy back
having
in the
sex
day.
with old women for money.
That's right, Loverboy.
For a telescope or something.
Timothy
wasn't it?
Chalamet was on the list.
He looks like a boy.
Usher made the list too, buddy. Jamie Foxx.
What?
That's right. Lenny Kravitz. That one kind of caught me off guard. Well, kind of like Patrick Dempsey caught me off guard.
More than Jamie Foxx.
I've never found Lenny Kravitz physically attractive, but there's something about him.
Yeah.
Now, also,
He looks like he smells, though.
Also,
He does. He looks like he smells.
Two brothers,
What?
a Jason and a Travis.
Oh,
Kelsey.
The Kelseys. Now, here's the funny
Thought you
thing.
were going somewhere.
But
with
no,
that.
here's the funny thing. This was my second part of the rant. We've all grown up over many years and decades now
Yes,
with
I
the
have.
sexiest man alive
Right.
each year, right?
Ooh, so
and
dreamy.
we know when they come out whether they have value or not. Like, because you can tell very quickly because the sexiest man alive is usually probably the most popular as well as good-looking person at any one given time.
About
and this
to
is
be in the newest movie ever.
this is where it gets a little, confusing for me. A Pedro Pascal, or I might be so bold as to offer up a young, sexy football player named Travis Kelce, because he is in the hottest couple going right now in the world.
Right?
In the world.
His best move is
And
to
he
impregnate her
is
immediately.
a good-looking dude with those soft baby blues when they hit the
Right.
camera from the right
Oh,
angle.
my God.
Oh, yeah. Listen,
I'm a
Travis
bad boy.
Kelce's got a good look to him. I could see him legitimately being the sexiest man
Right.
alive right now. Way before Patrick Dempsey,
it.
because if you would have told me,
Do it.
hey, off the top of your head, name who's going to be sexiest man alive this year, I would have almost immediately gone for Travis Kelce.
No.
I really would have.
No.
I don't know. I don't
Maybe
even
not,
know
dude.
who I
I'm
would've
serious.
said.
I'm not
Travis
trying to be
Kelce
funny. I'm just
looks
serious.
like he'd be a lot of work.
You really think
Oh,
so?
I think he'd be a lot
I would
of
have been
work.
like, I don't know, the guy
I
that
feel
played
like he's
Andy
got a
Travis
certain
on
rugged look
WKRP.
to him, and because of that football profile,
It's manicured
he also
rugged.
dresses down properly. Like he looks good when he steps out in a suit. Like these are
I
all
didn't say he
things.
doesn't look good. I said he
these-
looks like a lot of work. And you're
Yeah.
telling me a lot of work right
He wore
now.
that one
Yeah.
suit that looked like it had clouds all
And
over
there's
it.
nothing
I
wrong
think
with it.
looked
It's a
weird.
lot. It's just I
That's
like
weird.
my men more mature. I like a dad bod. Give me the Pedro Pascal. Give me the McDreamy. Right? Yeah, I'll take that any day over Travis Kelce.
And I'm not knocking. Listen, Patrick Dempsey, more power to you, bro.
Yeah.
Because
You're a
you're older
fine-looking
than me. Okay, you're older than me, and I would think someone my age is too old for this award. Like you're fired, dude. You're doing your thing. Congratulations, because I'm not going to knock you for that. I just was caught off guard by you being the person because. It's not like I think of him in shows that are current that
No.
everybody's talking about. Like he's from the past a little bit. Like I feel like in 2008 he would have been sexiest man alive.
I think he was before, wasn't he?
I thought so.
Yeah, I was wondering where this came from too, because the last thing I knew of him in was Grey's Anatomy.
He always comes off as this condescending guy at the kids' soccer game, and everyone's like, "Oh God, Patrick's here."
I'm a doctor.
he's
He's a
just-
doctor.
He does
guys.
have a.
I'm a doctor.
He does.
Right?
I'm a doctor.
But he does.
Tell
But he
you
does
he's
have a bit of
doctor or
a
something.
chiseled look, Jay. He's got a bit of a
That's
chiseled
what I'm
look.
saying. He's
kind of got that
he's
chiseled
East
out leg
Coast
and
handsome.
yeah.
He's a good mix of pretty and rugged.
Yeah,
Kind of like a Tom Brady is.
Tom Brady's very
right.
pretty.
He works on his own boat.
He don't come off too rugged to you at all.
No.
Like I'm not saying that I feel that Tom Brady comes off rugged.
No,
I'm
pretty
just saying like
and a lot of work again. Yeah,
pretty and a lot of work. Like you
Yeah.
feel like this is a person you're gonna have to like. How do you? What do you mean? You say a lot of work, like a little context.
I mean, like they're gonna suck a lot of energy from you because they care so much about outward things and appearances. It's gonna make them neurotic, and it's
You
gonna
ever-
make me neurotic, and I don't want any part of that.
Tom Brady looks like he's never caught a fish. You know what I mean? Like,
You ever watch
just never-
what we
I know
do in
he's not
doing it.
what we do in the shadows?
uh-uh.
You ever seen that show, What We Do in the Shadows?
Is that
With the
vampires?
vampires, exactly,
Ooh,
yeah.
I like
It's got the one guy, the English guy that's a really good TV actor that's got the unique voice that everybody loves. Oh, my God, he was in the It Crowd, and I can't remember what else he's been in. It's,
I'll look it up.
yeah, if you can, go ahead and look that up for us. But on there, one of the vampires isn't really a vampire. I mean, he is, but he isn't. He's a soul-sucking vampire.
Ah.
So what makes him he's the best character on the show. He's like a Dwight for The Office. He's their Dwight, okay? And he's fantastic because his thing is talking you to death to drain your power from you as a human being, and then you just kind of like slump over. And it's hilarious because he uses it in the most unique and interesting ways, and the comedy that comes from it is gold. And that's what that just reminded me of, like that the whole idea that like you feel like a lot of energy would be sucked.
Yes, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not my energy. Like that's not for me. I see how it's attractive to others, just not me.
Was there a time in your life in the past Where you feel like a earlier version of yourself, a more naive version of yourself would have jumped on that, though.
Oh, it would have been the complete opposite. Yeah. I'd been like, this one looks like it's they're
a keeper.
They're
This
a good
is
time.
it.
Look at, they're always wanting to go out. They always look, looking, how they dress. They care. I'm too old to care anymore. 20 years ago, different story. Yes, absolutely.
Now you've had, I'm sure you're married currently.
I am not married.
You're not married.
No, we've been together for over 12 years. But not married.
Sorry, did not know that. I was well, yeah, I just assumed. Never mind.
That's okay.
So not married.
Nothing but paper.
I let people call his husband because it's easier for them, but
There
I just
you
want to
go.
make sure I'm being factual at some point so people know I'm not misrepresenting.
Now, I have a question. I have an interesting question. Have you ever, because this kind of came up this week in a different discussion, and I wanted to bring it to the show, and this is kind of an interesting, unique approach to it. Is there another person from your dating past, okay? All of the people who have been a part of that in your past, okay? Is there anybody who you ever, think back on? Because I have someone in my life that is an old thing. It's not something that I'm trying to get involved with or bringing up for the sake of trying to create any issues or anything like that. More of just you think back to that person and I wonder how they're doing. That's just how you just wonder how they're doing. You have anyone like that in your past?
I have a couple. I would imagine.
That's fair.
Don't
fair.
we all?
That's what I was wondering. Is that
Right?
do you have somebody and from just your grand past that every once in a while just crosses your mind and you're like,
Yeah, I mean,
wonder
if
what they're
someone
up
was
to or wonder how they're doing.
Well,
I
if
hope
someone
life's
was going to
doing
come up
well.
and tell
Yeah.
me, hey, so and so did this, I'd listen. I don't know
Right.
if I'd search it out, but
Oh no!
but if
just,
they told me, I'd be like, of course I'm going to read this, or if someone sent me something or something, I'm going to read it because that interests me, the downfall or success of someone equally.
I'm just saying from your past, just
Yeah.
that idea of
But,
targeting
yeah, I
back,
know what you're saying.
and not in some weird former rekindle the flame way. I'm talking about just
no.
on the top of your head, you're just like, hey, I wonder what that person's up to because you had a unique relationship.
Yeah.
It was like
Remember
there
when I
was
got
a
you that
certain
ring at
vibe.
Woolworths?
No, it was just that there was that certain vibe, and you're just like, wow, I just wonder how they're doing. That it's an old vibe that you just kind of like, that's
I
interesting.
was 7 and I thought of it
Oh,
ever
geez,
since.
really? Oof. Getting
I
back
love
there.
you. Betty
Jason?
Sue.
We went to a Metallica concert.
We did on Sunday night.
You and me.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought my son. It was
You
his
did?
first concert ever.
Yes, a pretty good one to come out with. Right?
And
I think so.
Solid.
he was overall happy with the experience.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a clamor.
Mm-hmm.
A similar vibe came off many people that I've even talked to who weren't, with me and Jason
Mm-hmm.
and my son and Jason's friend that night. Who also feel the same way. And it's very simply the fact that I feel that people expected a little bit more of an evenness to the hits.
Yes.
I feel like there was maybe 17, 18 songs played.
16.
16 songs.
16.
Oh, 16 songs played.
16,
And
not counting
four
two
of
tape
them.
stuff.
Four of them were songs that everybody would relatively know. Like For Whom the
For
Bell
sure.
Tolls.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Enter Sandman,
For sure
obviously.
four. At least four.
Four. At least four. Okay.
And then
Now, there
it was
were,
scattered.
obviously, there were other things that they were playing and wanted to play.
Yes.
And I understand that. This
There
is
were a
the
couple,
M72
fan
tour. They
hits,
put out the
too.
new M72 album.
Yeah, there were a couple that were fan hits that they hit on, but there were a couple that I would have gladly have exchanged for almost anything. Really, there were a couple that was just like, why? No,
you and me. Listen. When they went into
Except
that
you
instrumental,
four. Yes, the Call of
I was just like, okay, this is like a deep cut thing. This is
Way
more
deep
you.
cut.
This is more that person
This
really
is-
wants to
what
hear
did I
that.
say at the time? This is for
Now-
super nerd fans.
But here's the thing: to the people who bought 2-day passes,
You
who
got
went to both
everything.
ones,
You got it all.
you did do what you were looking for.
Yeah.
You got what you were looking for. You got
cut.
the other half of it. You got the other half of it, and you got some deep cuts. So you got to see a little bit deeper version of Metallica than you
Yes.
typically do. But I feel like, and my son felt like, he's like, maybe next time we'll go, if they're going to just do one night. If you're only doing one night, then I know then all I'm going to get is
doing every night.
the set list is going to
Yeah.
at least include these couple songs because
Yeah.
it was their last night in St. Louis. They could have come back out for an encore. The people stuck around for a second to see if they would do an encore.
But it was part of that show.
They just kept egging it on and dragging it out and saying thank you. And that's not a knock on them. Listen, Metallica was fantastic.
They were
as
good.
They always are. They're
even the songs I didn't want to hear were really good.
The playing ability is amazing.
Crazy.
They are really good at what they do, and it's really cool to watch it when it happens. Okay, that aside, you guys, your bread and butter is Enter Sandman and Master of Puppets.
Yeah.
That's your bread and butter.
The whole thing should have ended with those two, and then everything else in between changed up.
Sure, you could have done that both
You could have made a
nights.
couple of really good set lists out of those two ending.
Because listen, for the fans that are now newer, who might have come from, I don't know, say like watching Stranger Things, and that's how they found out about you.
2nd grade to 5th grade.
All they know is Master of Puppets.
6th grade.
Now my son knows more than that. Like he was looking for certain songs, like Seek and Destroy.
Yeah,
a couple of other
Well, he's a
Battery.
blues fan.
Yeah, Reed likes them. Reed likes them.
Yeah.
Here, listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, all right, I want to talk a little bit more about this because there was a situation after the show that was kind of crazy.
Oh,
all right?
man, was that ever crazy?
I will. We'll be back on the show right after this. $12:80 a.m. KYRO. Mark Bland, Jenna Roberson, Jason Kull, and you on this beautiful Saturday. Beautiful. Metallica, Master of Puppets. Oh my God, I would have been so happy if they would have played this. Oh, the way that those speakers were hitting, they were hitting.
Right.
That like their music, Jenna, it was hitting you.
I bet it was.
I wish we would have had Friday's openers, man.
That just runs, dude. All right. Welcome back to the show.
Yes, it's gonna win the war.
So we went and saw Metallica. Now, my overall impression of the show, I give it about a 7 out of 10. I really was not super impressed, but at the same point, I had a good time. The light show that they put on with their stage setup and everything was really, really cool.
Right? A lot of more pyro than I thought there was going to be.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot more pyro, and they had fireworks that went all like, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Beyond that, there was a little bit, to be left to be desired. Like, and I feel like there was a missed opportunity. They did have merch stand that was easily accessible from anywhere, and there were multiple ones.
All kinds of them.
They didn't have the shirt I wanted. I wanted a certain shirt, and they were completely sold out of that.
People wearing that.
Man, I wanted that shirt so bad.
I saw a lot
and all
of
they had
people
was
had
small left over by the time I got there.
Ugh.
I'm sure you can find it online.
Maybe.
No, I think, can you? I don't think so because those are like,
sometimes later on.
You probably can. At a later point, you probably can.
I bet Bezos has it already.
Yeah, probably does. Probably does. All right. Republican Rick Santorum goes full mask off fascist and whines that Americans voting for abortion proves that the pure democracies are not the way to run a country. You're not supposed to say the quiet part out loud, Rick. Jesus, I can't even speak today. Yesterday, or this past week, Republicans were crushed at the ballot box as Americans showed up in droves to vote for Democrats. Turnout was so great that Ohio was able to enshrine abortion rights at the state level.
Yep.
That's right. They also legalized recreational marijuana, so it's going to be a lot more dead skunk smell around is what I've noticed
the electorate
in Missouri.
Changed.
There's a lot of dead
the map
skunks.
is different now.
Nah, just a lot of dead skunks all the time.
Right, yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That happens.
Republicans are furious.
Urgh.
Santorum, a former Republican senator, appeared on Newsmax, guys. Newsmax.
Yes.
That
he is made of
that
silly
blowtorch of the world of online. What are you if you're just like a website?
Yeah.
Is that like? Do we consider that like anything, or what? What do we do with that?
Their production is just like porn level. I mean, it's just crazy.
Is it even porn level?
Like it's bad.
It looks like bad YouTube,
like if they were gonna do
video channel
like
level.
the porn people are also on a talk show and they want to throw some regular video up. It looks like Newsmax. That's how bad it is.
Oh yeah, the when they try to fake what news looks like in the background of
right?
a movie, right?
This guy like just in front of a green screen,
Yeah.
obviously just talking about nonsense.
I avoid that channel, but I have seen clips from it.
It's just the worst. It's just they're not even trying to hide it.
It's kind of
They're
low budget.
just like, I don't know if you've seen the news, but it's all crap. You know, like, here, I want to tell you some stuff that's real. You know, like, look how, you know, you hold your arm up in the air. If the sun makes it hot, they put something in you.
Thank goodness.
Like, oh, you're right.
Thank goodness that most of the states in this country don't allow you to put everything on the ballot because pure democracies are not the way to run a country, said Santorum. You put very sexy things like abortion and marijuana on the ballot, and a lot of young people come out and vote, he added.
I don't want that.
Nearly.
Sexy is a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
So
nearly 57% of the Ohioans voted for abortion access and 56% voted for marijuana. Santorum has admitted a simple, undeniable fact, though. Republican policies are deeply unpopular. Rather than charge their platform to attract more voters, or change their platform, Republicans are going to double down and attempt to dismantle democracies itself. If they can't convince you, they'll try to force you.
Yeah.
Is the way that this is coming down. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Topic number one is I watched this election happen.
Yes.
You know, Republicans are always like, let the states decide these things, right? So the states decide against the Republicans' wishes. Right? And, oh, no, like that, you shouldn't have the right to your vote.
Yeah.
Like it's over with.
Oh,
like,
you'll
that's
see.
it. That's it.
They'll try to change that in,
they will.
in the Senate, in their House. They'll attempt it.
But here's the thing. This is where everybody is viewing that where Trump wants to go.
Yeah.
And that there would be a majority of Americans that try to support or use force to enforce their point of view, becoming this you pick your side.
Yeah.
And you die for your side.
You know what? That's funny you said
and
that.
that's kind of crazy because I talked about The Purge a couple of weeks ago for Halloween, and I know that was funny, and I know it's fun, but at the same point, I was making a point that it seems like we're going more down that road because we can't choose dividing lines. We have to force dividing lines. And when you do that, now you have to make everybody fair game.
That's what I was about to say is one side is like the backup plan is violence. They don't have a backup plan.
There is no backup plan.
If the first political one doesn't work, boom, it's violence against whoever. That's their backup plan, and they're one they probably want to go to. And you see it with the way, like, I mean, the rallies, that he gets arrested, the judge gets threatened, and they start threatening. It's crazy.
Well, they tried it a few years ago. It didn't go in their favor.
Right? I don't remember in 7, 8, when Clinton got impeached, people calling and threatening. You know, I don't remember hearing that Republicans were getting death threats. That just didn't happen.
It's sexy.
Now, but
That's
now
how you use that word.
now for some tough medicine, guys. Okay. No one should be looking at Bashir's win yesterday as any metric from which to gauge Biden's chances. Those counties will go for a Republican candidate, whoever it may be, in 24.
Yeah, I mean, he was
And Kentuckians do not view Kentucky Democrats like the way they view the national Democrats. That's a different kind of view down there.
I would never go there without that Bashir if I'm Biden. Every time I go to Kentucky, he's with me.
I'm just saying, be careful. Don't get complacent. Because it was 2016. Now, Jay, listen. Let me put this out there. It is now, we are into 1 year and counting. We are into that rundown to the national election of 2024.
Yeah.
If there is a reason to ever listen to the QNow, if for our history, since 2010 when I started the show on my own, through all the incarnations up through Jason, We've seen a lot of these elections. 2010, 12, 16.
Yeah.
We also saw the midterms in 18. Plus, we got 2020 in there.
Yes.
We're looking now at 2024. We've only been wrong once. A lot like the rest of the nation was wrong about 2016. So our track record's pretty solid.
We've either gotten the election part right
or
the aftermath right, or both.
Or nailed it all.
Or just missed just one during that
But
time.
if there's a time to listen to our show, and Jason can attest to this,
it's true.
Now is the time. And we go back on this so far as like to 2008 when I was doing Absolute Wrestling Radio, and at the end of it I would do politics, and that's kind of how I got the idea for the QNow. That's where that comes from, because it started to like have people calling in on the show asking about the political stuff, and I'm trying to do a wrestling and MMA fighting show and all this other stuff, and it was kind of interesting, and I liked it.
Yes.
I liked it, so I went down that road. I took a chance on myself. It worked out. We got syndicated. We're syndicated currently.
Yes.
We've been through the ringer, too.
Yeah.
We've been from this station to that station to other stations.
To nothing.
But we've always maintained that credibility. This is when you should be listening to us. This rundown, the next year of shows, is when you really are going to see us shine at what we do. Because now we're in that rundown. And this is how we break politics down so that you guys out there can understand it. And I'm a true moderate. I pull from both sides. And I'm not going to be afraid to share my opinion with anyone in any respect. Mm-hmm. My opinion is Mark Bland's and Mark Bland's alone. It does not reflect Jenna. It does not reflect our friend Jason over there. It reflects me. And that's the end of it.
Unless you're cool with it, then.
No, listen, if they like my opinion, fine. That's on them. They can admit to it on their own. That has nothing to do with me. And I'm not going to put myself in their position. That's it.
Thank you for letting us have an opinion.
You're welcome. You are welcome. No, I'm not going to be involved with that. Like, everybody is here, stands on their own opinion.
Yes.
And that's who defends their own opinion. So I don't ever want to hear about, oh, you said this on the show, and apply it to Jenna or apply it to Jason, or vice versa with something that Jason or Jenna says and apply it to me or apply it to the other one. I don't want any of that. I think that we all stand on our own merits. It's important for people to know that too. But this is where you really shine if you know what you're talking about. And that's the problem with 2024. On the national scene, if inflation's still high, that's going to definitely bump into Biden's chances.
It will. People are crazy.
It really is going to bump into Biden's chances. I'm sorry.
People do crazy stuff.
We're already all complaining about our groceries being way too high, price-wise.
Yes.
And at the gas pump, we have now been at $3 or more for a while, and I mean a long while, like 2 solid years. Like it's been going on for quite a long time.
Coincidentally,
there's a place
the length of time that Biden has been in office.
There's a place if you have if you have their app.
It probably is a coincidence more than anything. I'm just saying, like, it's been high and it's stayed high. Usually there's some fluctuation.
No.
We drop down into the 220, 225 area, like
you can
price.
get it for $283.
I'm constantly seeing news stories about the record profits every quarter for the past couple of years.
Right? How is that?
So,
if it costs more to make,
I'm not
how can
sure
you
what
make more
price
money?
points Biden is setting himself personally.
Sure,
but
yeah,
I
he ain't
don't
doing none.
think that it's him setting the price
And
of
I
your
don't
groceries
think
or
that
your gas.
but I want that to be in the proper context. People see the numbers on the signs. It's the most common price that they see in their life on a day-to-day basis. Even if you don't go grocery shopping, you still see the price of gas as you drive along highways. It's just there in front of your face all the time. So these are numbers that people see. When those numbers are high, people know things are expensive.
Yeah.
It bothers them. And that makes them think about, well, who's talking my game right now? Who's telling me what I want to hear? Biden and the liberals are smart enough to know that they can't control the gas prices. So they don't come out and say, hey, we'll give you lower gas prices.
Right?
But
we don't know how we're going to do it, but we'll do it, man.
Speaker of the House,
do it by giving them all tax breaks.
Speaker of the House, Matt Jackson, Mike Thompson?
Johnson.
Mike Johnson?
Yeah.
Mike Johnson?
Mike Johnson.
Yeah, or his sons. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know who's in charge of what.
And also, don't
Apparently
forget,
they're in
guys.
charge of each other.
Yep.
Don't forget, guys. It was Trump who killed Roe versus Wade with his SCOTUS picks.
There you go.
You know, don't forget
I
that
mentioned
Trump.
that to someone. They
He
should put
brags
that in the
about it.
video.
Yeah.
Don't
I've seen the
forget
video.
that Trump killed several 100,000 Americans with his lies about COVID and his
Yep.
actions
So
against
here you
blue
go.
states during the
Yeah,
pandemic.
here's this guy.
You know what I'm saying? Don't forget that Trump also tried to kill democracy on January 6th. Don't forget that Trump is the worst president in U.S. history, and his party is quite honestly full of traitors. Traitors to
Bunch
who
of
we
people
are
have
as people.
Become unmasked for sure.
Now, that might not make myself popular for making that stance or saying those words.
No.
I get it.
No.
I get it. That's okay. You know? Seems like people having personal freedoms and disliking theocratic bigots. Well, who knew? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what happened with that election. That's what it should look like. But we know with the way that the cookie can crumble, things with a guy like Trump could sway the election. It
You
could
know
make
what?
people go the other way. And I don't
could
want
be enough
people to
dumb
get
people.
complacent. I am so happy that the younger voters showed up
Yeah.
and did what they did. But I'm going to need a lot more of that on
Yeah.
Remember the 5th of November. That's what they always say in
We
Anonymous.
need some of these trials to begin, some of this information to be let out.
I don't know that it's going to make a difference at this point.
Not the hardcore ones. I just want to pick off those middle ground, those libertarians
That's fair.
who still believe in rule of law. So they'll be like, that it won't be that cool for them. You don't need a lot. You just need.
It doesn't have to be
half of them,
sexy.
you know?
Yeah.
No,
It
right?
doesn't have to be sexy. All right, we're going to
Plain.
take a quick
get it done.
break here on KYRO and WIBH. Myself, Jenna, as well as Jason, will be back right after this. The QNow, welcome back. Jason Kull. Jenna Roberson and Mark Bland.
Hey.
Jenna, where are we at on Justin? Is he sexy? Is he a sexy man?
Justin is not sexy. No.
He's not a sexy.
No.
Wait.
Team
I
Britney.
think- I will say this. No, I think that Justin's a sexy dude. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and try. Listen, there's certain dudes when you see him, you're just like, you know, that dude's a good-looking dude,
Nah,
and the
he's-
girls are. It's the girls. He's on their eyes. That's
No,
all there is
he's
to
a
it.
Kmart Ryan Felipe.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I like Ryan
Oh, yeah.
Felipe too, man.
Yeah. I hope I'm saying his last
Ryan
name correct.
Felipe is one of those dudes where you look at him and you're like, yeah, we get it. Josh Hartnett and all that. We get it. We're just like,
Yes.
oh yeah.
Hartnett, too? Yes, I forgot about that one.
What's his
Ryan
name from?
Felipe's great in
Who's the
Gruber.
one? Who's the one that's in Magic Mike and all that?
Oh, Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
People like that.
Right.
Sexy, right? Sexy guy.
He is. I have never seen a Magic Mike movie.
You never have.
I've never seen it.
Should we? Do you know what we should do? Is we should watch, the three of us should watch the first Magic Mike movie together
Give a review.
and give it a review.
You guys, it's 2023. You don't need me to cover for you. You can go ahead and watch that together.
Oh, okay.
All right. God dang it. That would have been an awkward conversation anyway.
It would have been fun, though.
You would have showed up. And
What were you
hey,
telling
we
us
decided
off?
not to do
What were
it.
you telling us off the air? What happened? So okay. So Britney had a book come out or something.
Yeah. I think it's called The Woman in Me. I have not read it, but I've gotten the rundown from everyone who
All right.
read it voraciously.
What
when they got
is
it.
the rundown on this movie?
Well, I guess the
Or this
the
relationship, this life,
I
this
guess
whatever.
the main story of what is catching Justin Timberlake so much heat is that there was a story of, I think they were 19 and Britney was pregnant and they decided to have an abortion. Didn't want anyone to know. So
Yeah, of course not.
did it via, through self-medicated
Oh.
at-home abortion. Did
Okay.
that. And so she's going through the process of this and she's apparently on the floor cramping really bad, going through the process of this.
That
Right?
sucks.
That would
And
be awful.
He was comforting
Cramps in
her
Wait, it made it-
apparently by strumming on an acoustic guitar and serenading her to help calm the process of this.
Well, he's a doctor, right? Probably.
I
Is he?
don't know.
No, he's not. Okay.
There's no coming back from this.
That's
There
fair.
is no
There-
coming
there
back
is-
from this.
Now,
Never mind. I thought he was a
Do we
doctor.
knock Justin for trying to be helpful?
It's not his fault he's dumb.
Well, according to
He
the
was
book,
trying to be
she
helpful.
wanted to keep it. So it was more of a
Oh,
pressure
my
from him.
God.
Oh, wait, no.
Now it's getting
Now-
so bad.
Right. If I don't have that's what all the stories have said. So
I bet he's at home going, man, come on.
I mean, his wife
Hey,
has
now,
already said
at the
he
same
deserves
point-
to have
at the
peace.
same
Like, does he
point,
though?
listen,
I mean,
He's like,
Janet
I'm in
Jackson has
TV
entered
shows
the
all the
chat.
time.
At the same point,
Stole it all from me.
Brittany could have easily just not done it.
No,
So she
that's
went
true.
through with it.
Nah.
And so, like, you're going to take your fair share in that the decision. Like, that's
Guess
part
it
of
depends
life.
on the relationship. Who had the power in it?
Yeah.
I mean, if
Hey, listen,
she was
it takes
in
two to
love
tango
with
in that
him.
case, and those
Yeah, but
two
if
made
she's
that
in
decision.
love with him
Whether
and
you
he
like it or not,
manipulates it,
now, at the same point,
that's
do I
wrong.
agree with
No,
that?
She was in love with him. She was going to do anything he
Yeah.
wanted. They were 19. They were
She
in the Hollywood
was-
spotlight from kids. They had no reality bubble. They were the
But-
family's cash cows. No one was
But
watching these
pro-choice,
kids,
right? But pro-choice. But because of being pro-choice, they have
I'm
the
just saying
choice
sometimes
to make
it's not
the
that
decision.
easy. You're making it
Yeah.
sound like they just woke up together, like did rock
Oh.
paper scissors. It was
Yeah.
like, all right, we're getting
Who
rid
wants
of it.
this? Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
No,
Gotcha.
there-
I'm so
there-
good.
I'm just
there
being
is the
honest.
imbalance of power, and he took advantage of it. And now that was ultimately, she didn't have the support system to support her, right? Everyone against her is like, oh my God, you're just starting out. Why would you have a baby, right? I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So there is external pressure. So it's never one of those like, okay, we're just going to walk up to the clinic. This is it. I feel great. No regrets.
I don't want
no,
to.
there's
No,
a
I'm just
whole
saying that
process.
because
and we don't know all the story.
At least in my case, because of pro-choice,
Yeah.
I understand that this is a decision, and I would hope that they put in the time and effort to discuss this properly. I would hope that they made sure that they are 100% in agreement that this is what they wanted done. And then if they do carry that out, obviously, as a person who's pro-choice, I'm not going to scarlet letter them.
No, I'm happy
No,
they had the
no.
choice. The consequences are theirs. But it's
And
their freedom to choose.
it's not that I want that to happen or I feel like, that should have happened. It's that it's not my business. I'm staying out of their business, and that is where I keep it.
Yeah.
You know, that is their decision to make.
It's
Yeah, but it's still kind of that's a good move to
lot of
play a
times-
guitar on the bathroom floor.
You can't
I'm
cuss
sorry.
like that on the show.
a lot of times.
I didn't know that was
though,
considered. I'm still thinking like George Carlin's
you
7
know,
words. I didn't know that one was.
7 words,
I'm sorry.
The 8th word.
I
There's-
apologize.
yeah. No, you're fine. It's all right. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
But a lot of times their thought is insincere because once they're in that position, they go get it. Like if their 15-year-old daughter got knocked up by the 18-year-old that new quarterback for Alabama or whatever, they're going to get an abortion. And they could be the most conservative people on earth outside of their daughter. And that's the problem. Is what they do is for show, but it affects everyone.
Or no, they very well mean it until they find themselves in the situation. Then all of a sudden, there's a little
but
clarity
that's-
there. Like, oh,
that's
man.
almost
Right.
worse,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That they really meant it and were so swayed by it. Not that it was just kind of like, you know, if it happens to our daughter, we're totally getting it. That's almost worse that then they're so conflicted because that almost makes them dangerous.
I just don't get invested in like celebrity lives. Like
No,
the
I
Will
don't
and
search it
Jada
out,
stuff.
but
Like
if
we've
someone's gonna
talked
tell
about
me-
we've talked about like Will and Jada, their
Yeah,
story
yeah,
on here,
yeah.
but outside of like because it was a news story that was really like everywhere all at
like
once.
I'm not checking celebrity gossip pages.
And
every
it was
day
only
or
because
anything.
of slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. Like that
was a slap too,
and it
boy.
was a hell of a slap. Like so,
Right? Like, what?
legitimately,
Calm
this
down,
was
buddy.
going to be a huge news story, and everybody was going to talk about it. Outside of that, I really don't like. I don't get invested in any celebrities' lives, marriages, gossip, the things that are going on in their lives. When this book comes out, what they say about this person or that person, I never get invested in that stuff. Maybe it's just me because I know people who do love that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my wife used to religiously get People magazine. By the way, that's an old story that just kind of popped into my head out of nowhere.
Yeah.
In the old days, man, that magazine went up in price. Like $158 for a year.
Wow.
For a year of that magazine to come to your house, $158.
What does it come out every week?
It was ridiculous. Yeah, there's a new People every week.
Okay, well, I mean, it's still that's a lot more money.
Or it
probably
might
used
be
to be
48 issues a year or whatever. I
It
don't
used
know.
to be half of that at least.
No, we used to be able to get those magazines,
It's like around
those
$4
circulars.
Even less.
You remember those circulars? You could get those circulars, and in them there would be like deals for stuff. I got a circular that gave me like half that price off. So I don't know.
That's okay. I just went in on the NFL Sunday ticket because it was half off all of a sudden.
So expensive.
I'm cool with that. But listen. I'm not
It is
I'm
very
not afraid
expensive.
to spend money on things that like, as long as they're going to be used.
Yeah.
Like there has to be value there. Like we're getting to the point with my wife and mine are Amazon Music, right?
Yeah.
The way it's set up. We're almost to the point where we're going to pull that trigger and we're just going to get the full out family plan where you get like 7 people or whatever that can all use it, stuff like that. And it's just going to be, I feel like overall, I know it'll get used.
Yeah.
I know that the price I'm paying, there is value in that.
Gotcha.
I hate when I spend money on something and there's no value on the return.
Yeah.
There's just nothing on the backside of that. That's how I feel about gas.
Yeah,
Gas
right?
feels like a zero return. Although it does get me to places like the station so that we can do our show. You know what I'm saying?
There it comes in
it
handy.
gets me to places so that we can do things in our
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
So like there is value there, but at the same point, I do it so often it feels like I'm just running the still. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like getting drinks of water. It's just constant. Always got to go to the gas station like
Death,
2 times
taxes,
a week.
and gas.
I mean, and gas, it's only making your life easier, not necessary, you know? I mean, you can walk everywhere. You can ride a bike. You don't need gas, but gas is
true.
convenient. So it's not like, screw gas.
Yeah, screw gas. That's what right. You tell him, Jay.
Yeah.
More power to
Thoughts on
us.
that?
Hey, listen.
Telling you,
Okay.
one day
All right.
no one feels anything.
Right? They
That would
freak
be-
out.
We
They
told
would freak out
people
for a second.
We told people before the break that we were at the Metallica concert.
Yep, we were.
And then when we came back, we talked about the Justin Timberlake stuff and blah blah blah. We're here it is, but
Yeah.
here's where we're at now. Here's where we're at now. So, back to the Metallica concert situation, so I can give you the other half of the story that I promised you. The show is over. Me, Jason, my son, and Jason's friend. What was his name, by the way?
Brian.
Brian. We all leave at the same time. We walk down the steps at the same time. Now we all like go our different directions or whatever.
Yeah, you guys were
like,
parked a different
we
way.
parked it a different way than they were parked. So like where they went to go to get their car, not us.
We were like salmon. Everyone was coming the other way.
We were parked at this thing called the 7th Street Garage. That's exactly the
familiar
name
with
of it. And it's
seen it.
right off like this interior section of that little area, that alcove that like cuts out between the streets for the America Center, which is where the Dome is at, where they perform for the Metallica concert. Well, there was a parking structure that was within 2 blocks, and it was $30. And it was a convenience for me because I have neuropathy. It's difficult for me to feel. I don't feel my feet really, technically at all. And so,
Did you say you drove here?
well, I do. I have feeling in my feet, but it's not the same. Never mind.
Like
I
the
knew what you
pressure.
meant. I knew what
the
you
pressure.
meant.
The pressure,
feeling, but not
the pressure.
The look
not
on
the-
your two faces,
the
though, when
deep-
I said it
You're
was
correct.
great.
No. That's an obvious concern. I understand that. But at the same point, it's not like that. It's a different type of feeling. But what comes along with it is once I do a lot of impact, which would be a lot of walking, the pain increases, which makes it like I can get to
It's
so
like
painful, pins and needles to the point where it's so painful. I'm in a fetal position, like it hurts that bad. So a lot of walking isn't always great for me. It just isn't. And this place was within a decent amount of distance to where I was like, okay, cool, I can fathom this. This is fine. Post show, we get up to the top. Me and my son proceed to wait for a half an hour, almost maybe 40 minutes. During that time, Jason is walking to his car, getting into his car.
It's true.
Then he is on his way home, and he's got a friend with him. So there's the dropping off of this and all that.
Nope.
We wait. We had time after about 30 to 40 minutes, somewhere in that range. We had time to go take a 20-minute pee break to the restroom. We had to go beg a guy. The parking structure was connected to like an apartment complex that was like VIP and exclusive apartments. Ooh. And on the 5th floor, they had like the apartment only public restroom, like a restroom in the hallway that the tenants use or whatever like that. And so, like, I guess that's where they have some businesses up there or, like, offices.
Yeah.
And so the guy was nice enough after we talked to him for about 10 minutes to allow us to go up there and use the restroom, which really was helpful to me and my son since we walked out of the concert and I needed to use the restroom. But you know how it is when you're leaving a concert.
Yeah,
like
you think you're just going to get on the road.
And by the way, it's a Metallica concert, so there are lines for the men's room.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
It was, too.
We ended up using the restroom. Coming back, then we waited for another 40 minutes. During that 40 minutes, we're standing around in the structure. Jason is literally almost home. And by the time this about 80 minutes of waiting to get out of the parking garage after the concert, Jason is on the phone like, dude, I'm pulling into my driveway right now. Like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm still stuck on the top of this parking garage. I haven't left for like this whole time.
All the way from
I had
the
to
dome
beg. I had to
out
beg
here.
for a restroom. Like, it's been really. It was a nightmare.
Right?
It was a legit nightmare, and it was crazy because there was no need for it. One relationship with the city of St. Louis police, they could have had everybody just filing out of both of these. There was 2 parking garages within range of each other, both filing out at the same time. They could have had people filing them all out and keeping them moving at the stoplight, which was stopping people. Mm-hmm. But they had a stoplight there that was stop and go and stop and go and stop and go, and it wasn't people that could have been flagging people out and getting them out of there faster.
Well, you know what?
We waited for 80 to 90 minutes just to leave the parking garage.
The dome, in my experience, has never paid for traffic police because we went to Royal Rumble and we were stuck in that outdoor parking lot, the old parking lot that's not taken care of.
The one across the street by
Closer,
Cole.
Yeah, closer to the highway, I guess, would be. We were stuck in that forever until we finally seen people were just driving over the edge and getting on the regular road, and we were like, we could have done that, but you couldn't tell at first, but people were stuck there. It was like 40 minutes, and they had nobody, like no one, not even an attendant. It was just everyone trying to figure it out on their own, and it didn't work out very well. Bunch of wrestling people trying to figure out who leaves the parking lot first. That wasn't going over.
Chaos.
That wasn't going over very well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to take a quick break. When we come back, I have some more topics I want to talk to these two about, and we might do a ranker review. We will discuss this when we are off the air, and then we will come back and tell you what we decide. We'll be back on the show after this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the QNow. Mark Bland, Jason Kull, as well as Jenna Roberson.
Ew.
A little Queen for you. The hero, right, Jay?
That is correct. That just kicks right into that, doesn't it? Oh, that's good. That's good.
I hope you guys are
It's good stuff.
Oh, man, that's something else.
enjoying your, well, it's cool here,
All right?
Saturday.
Yeah.
It's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
No, it's not.
Jason.
Oh, no, it's winter.
We have not decided yet on a ranker review.
No, we need to, though. Oh, this is so hard.
It is difficult for us to figure these things out. Now, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just go right now. I can do this live on the show. It doesn't take us too long whatsoever.
I can do anything on the fly.
We can talk about. Oh, listen. While you guys are thinking, while I'm trying to get to the point of what we
DUI
need here,
checkpoints, anything.
you guys could discuss DUI checkpoints and things like that.
Real deep
subjects. Real deep subjects on the
I've just
planning
come
and
from the
zoning
library.
committee. We need people on the planning and zoning committee. You know what I'm saying?
Trying
We
to
do,
cure
apparently.
cancer in between my time
Just certain
serving the poor. What are you doing tonight, officer?
I feel like we could have a debate about how I feel the DUI checkpoint violates our Fourth Amendment rights.
Right? You're not touching me,
All right.
sir.
I can do a ranker review up.
Uh-huh.
The best quarterbacks of all time.
Okay.
Okay, that's not a bad. That's okay.
Not.
I can
that's
run
not.
with it.
We can get sporty.
The best sports franchises of all time.
That could be. I mean, some colleges make tons.
The
of money
most
too.
beautiful women of the 1980s.
I actually got excited
I
about
was
that one.
7 to 16 in the 80s. That's not. How am I going to do that? I didn't put a check out chicks.
The greatest musical artists of all time.
Yeah. Okay.
That could be interesting.
Yeah. That's musical. Though,
Artists.
So it could be anybody.
Right. It could be.
Mm-hmm.
Could be. That's a tough one. I don't know, man.
What do you think?
I also have best Mario Kart games.
I don't
Never
play Mario
played.
Kart.
Oh.
I stopped it once the Sega came out, the Genesis. Boom, that was it. I was done. Nintendo.
Yeah, and I barely touched the Sega.
Right?
Yeah.
What did you go to?
I just kind of stayed in Nintendo.
You just stayed with the old NES?
The Oregon
rode
Trail,
that for a
maybe?
bit?
Yeah.
There you go.
Logo Rider. I mean, all of the good things.
Oregon Trail.
So
Terry
Let's
sucks.
not eat. Oh, darn it.
I'll trade you some potatoes for
I
some
do
penicillin.
I do have a last minute entry.
All right.
The two best streaming shows of the last few years.
Ooh, okay.
That could be interesting.
Like
I don't know if I've
binge
seen them
people?
all, but
Like
I've seen
shows that are
started binging?
I guess it would be shows
Right.
that you
I don't
kind of
know what
like. It's
Friends
streaming
numbers are
shows.
right
like
now.
only on Netflix or Amazon.
So
or
it
like
would be
Paramount, probably.
it probably would be like Game of Thrones, something like that.
Did you
Oh,
see?
maybe.
Did you see Friends episodes now have already have in memoriam like before them? Like already. So if you go to Netflix and hit play, boom, there's a thing already on them.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like they're like, we got this ready for all of you, just in case. It's a pretty big deal. So don't freak out if it gets leaked. And they're like, oh well, now we gotta get the one from Matt.
I'm looking at the list here,
Like, oh man,
and it is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I do not feel that every show would be known. There's a show called The Patient
I have no
with
idea
Steve Carell.
I've heard of it,
Evidently-
but I've never seen
Oh.
it.
It's a streaming show, so it's on the list, but
Isn't
it's
he
number
like a
10.
weirdo psychiatrist who kidnaps somebody. Or
It's
something
at
like
number 10.
that? Yeah.
Okay. That's
I think it's an
fine.
Apple
And it
TV
might
thing.
be that good of a show. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I really don't know.
I don't know.
But these are streaming shows. These are shows that I guess they debut on streaming.
Yeah.
You have to debut on streaming. It's not like you're a part of a network or anything.
I would just rather do quarterbacks.
You'd rather
I
do
don't know.
quarterback.
Yeah, let's do
shows.
quarterbacks.
I don't know a show. I don't know a
Jenna,
show. I
are
might not know
you-
every quarterback.
Are you?
I might not either.
Are
I
you
don't know
quite?
anything about quarterbacks.
Are you the?
in the 50s.
Are you quite the? Well, are you into sports? First of all,
Do you enjoy sporting?
are you a sporting person? I know we talked on the first show about your background.
Jenna, sports are things guys play.
Okay. I can't even respond to this.
I don't know if you understood what Mark said to you.
Let me explain. it
Hi,
to you.
I'm Jason Kull, candidate for. And what you've just witnessed is not something I condone.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying. I've brought my trusty mansplainer to me. Jason, can you take it away for me, sir?
Why, thank you, Jenna. Now listen, female. That's radio in 2 years. Trust me. Trust me.
What just happened?
Trust
I'm
me.
so lost in what's going on. I was just trying to figure
That's
out.
what you get. You
I was
left.
trying to figure out what we wanted to
Never
do
leave
for a
us with
regular
dead air.
review.
Never leave us with dead air.
Leave and there's a microphone in front of me and not a person.
I feel horrible now.
I don't know. That's never happened before.
That's what they always say.
I just don't.
I don't know. It must
I
be
don't-
something you did.
I don't
Get
know.
away from me.
I don't even know what.
It's not you. It's
I don't-
me.
I-
It's me.
I don't say that. I'm like, it's you. 'Cause this works just
Even
fine
if it's not,
when no one's
it's
around.
you.
Full functional man when I'm by myself.
Well, Jay, let's do quarterbacks.
Do it.
Let's do quarterbacks.
Let's
right.
do it.
Let's do the best quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah.
All right. I feel that this is
Uncle Rico.
Number one.
Everyone
hey, he
knows.
might be on there. He might be on there. Well, as you know, we started number 10.
Yes.
And then
Make
we
sure
move
they-
forward up
make
to
sure
number
they're
1, and we
safe.
want to see if this list holds up based off of what the ranker
Yeah.
positions are currently.
11 might be better.
And it's always fun. We start by telling you who number 11 is, so you kind of have a little litmus test, a little base
You
here.
can follow along with us.
So number 11 on this list
Uh-huh.
of best quarterbacks of all time,
Yes.
Jim Kelly.
You're very good. 3
Okay.
consecutive
That's a good jumping
Five-time
off
Super
point.
Bowl.
5-time Pro Bowler, right? NFL passing touchdown leader
4
in
consecutive Super
1991.
Bowls.
He's an NFL Hall of Famer
Yeah.
and first-team All-Pro in 1991.
From
He
what
was
I understand,
Buffalo,
he's
right?
an all-around cool dude. Yes.
Yeah, and he had started a foundation for something, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. Okay.
Yeah, he's okay.
That's number 11.
All right.
So starting at number 10 on our rank and
10
review
must be
list,
pretty good because Jim Kelly went to 4 straight Super Bowls.
a 2-time
Lost
Super
them
Bowl
all.
champion,
Oh, here we go. Story Aikman, probably.
one Mr. Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well,
I mean, he does have
You know
most
what?
valuable player 2018.
Here's the thing.
He's got the NFL MVP in 2018.
He's
so
gonna
he's got up there. He's up there.
He's gonna be better than Jim Kelly numbers wise in just a little bit. So why even worry?
That's true. That's
Right?
true.
He's
Like
gonna
this is
have the
something that you
numbers.
can see is going to happen.
That's the
Like
only thing
it's
Jim
coming.
Kelly has right now is he's played a few more years.
But Jim
Mahomes
Kelly
is
is
gonna
also Jim Kelly also has the famous aspect that he went to 4 Super Bowls and lost them.
Lost them all, man.
And Patrick's got him. He's got a couple.
Yeah, he's lost one, but he got one. Two.
He's got 2.
2 out of 3. That Kelly 0 out of 4. So that's stamp,
4
man.
losses is like 2 wins.
So would we
Boy
say
math.
that Patrick Mahomes stays at number 10?
Yeah, he's solid.
I
He
think
might
that
even
he's
jump
at
up.
number 10. I think he stays at number 10.
Depending on
too.
who's at 9. If that's another
Yeah.
senior quarterback, then
Coming up at number
not gonna
9,
overtake him.
Cleveland Browns great Otto Graham.
I don't even know who that is.
I do not
He's
know
a
who that is.
3-time NFL champion, 50,
He's
54, and
50s.
55.
Okay, I was gonna say the 50s were the 50s and
NFL,
early 60s
he's
were heydays for Cleveland.
three-time NFL MVP.
Okay, that's one more than Patrick.
That's one more than Aaron Rodgers.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
5-time Pro Bowler
okay.
and 2-time NFL passing yards leader in 52 and 53. So Aaron, he's in the NFL 100th anniversary all-time team, the 75th anniversary all-time team, and the all-decades
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, those 50s Cleveland teams and early
But he's got
60s were
3
solid.
Super Bowls. He's got 3
Yeah.
NFL championships.
Yeah, solid teams.
So that's
He
before the
stays.
Super Bowls existed.
I say he stays.
I think he stays too.
I think Otto Graham beats out Patrick
Yeah.
Mahomes. I think that's a fair
Yeah.
assessment.
Yeah.
All right, so Otto Graham stays at number 9, which means he's got some work up against him at number 8. This is another NFL great. Some may or may not know. One Mr. Steve Young of the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, Steve Young.
And
was
Tampa Bay
good.
Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers.
Steve Young was, man, if Steve Young would have got the start in Tampa Bay, things would have been different. I don't know if he would
He
have been as
started
good.
his career late too.
Yeah. I mean, he was
He was an
behind
attorney.
Montana forever.
He was an attorney. Yeah.
3-time Super Bowl champion. Super Bowl MVP. 2-time most valuable player in the NFL, 92 and 94.
He's good.
He's good. He's really good. 3-time, first-time, all-time pro. 5 NFL completion percentage leaders, passing rating leader, and touchdown rating leaders awards. And he's part of the NFL Hall of Fame. I feel that Steve Young is better than Otto Graham.
I think so, too.
I really do.
Steve
I
Young's
think
the
that-
world's greatest backup.
For real.
Because look what he
Because-
did when he finally got a chance.
But look who he backed up.
Right?
What might
Not
be
his
the
fault.
world's greatest.
Right?
Might.
He might be one of the best 2-minute quarterbacks ever.
Coming in, so I'm going to say at number 8, Steve Young stays.
Yes.
Coming in at number 7, Dan Marino of the Miami Dolphins.
Lace us out, Dan. I just anytime someone, that's immediately what I go to.
That and NutraSweet. Or whatever it
NFL Most Valuable Player in 1984. That's his greatest achievement, technically. NFL Offensive Player of the Year in 84 and Comeback Player of the Year in 94. 3-time All-Time Pro. 9-time Pro Bowler. 5 NFL passing yard leaders. 84 through 86, he was the leader. 88 and 92. And he's part of the NFL Hall of Fame.
You know.
Now, here's the problem.
Uh-huh.
I think Steve Young still beats you.
I don't know. I remember as a kid, I just didn't feel the same way about Steve Young as I did Dan Marino. You know what I mean?
Well, that's right, because Dan's got nostalgia for us from Gen X.
Yeah,
Like, we love Dan for a reason. That's why
Dan Marino was always like the guy who wasn't winning, but he played on the Dolphins, and Steve Young won.
It's why
he wasn't as good as Dan Marino.
What's his name? The comedian did the movie Ace Ventura.
Yeah,
that's why we focused, and that's a Gen X movie. That's why we focused on Dan Marino. Like, he was like that for us.
Dan Marino. I mean, that Dolphins uniform, and I remember his football car with the AFC Pro Bowl
over Steve Young.
I don't know.
3-time Super Bowl champion.
I mean, Marino went and lost to the guy he was eventually backed up.
I'd go with Marino.
Well, we got Steve Young is who we're deciding. Oh, you want Marino? You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Marino
Okay,
holding at 8.
Yes.
You're holding firm on Marino.
I'm holding for Marino.
I think so too. I think.
So we're saying Marino stays at 7.
Yeah.
All
Not
right.
that Steve Young's bad.
That's fair, I guess.
I just think
it's those 3
Marino
Super
just didn't
Bowls,
have
though.
the
Those
team.
3 Super Bowls have to mean something.
No, they do.
It has a
but-
lot to do with your team, too. Sometimes you have
Yeah.
a very talented player, but they don't have the O-line. Or
Marino just had
the
those
special
wide
teams or anything.
receivers. Boy, were they good, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That was good stuff back then.
Number 6, if Dan Marino's at 7, number 6, Bart Starr of the Green Bay Packers.
Well,
2-time Super Bowl
Before my
champion.
time, but classic guy.
The first 2 Super Bowls are his. Super Bowl 1 and 2. He was the champion. 2-time Super Bowl MVP. He got the MVP for both of those games. NFL champion in 61, 62, and 65 through 67. So that's before the Super Bowls.
And I think he played in the Ice Bowl.
I
think he
Super
was
Bowl
Green Bay's quarterback.
or
in the
Super Bowl 1.
NFC
or
Championship
1 or 2.
of
Can't remember.
1, I think.
And he's in the 1960s All-Decade team. Plus, he's, of course, in the Hall of Fame.
He came before him, so maybe he does stay there.
I think he stays.
You think Bart Starr stays at 6?
I think so.
Dan doesn't take it.
No.
Well,
okay, well, then we're putting the value in those Super Bowls. I mean, football's football. You got to win the game. You got to win the game. It's 100 yards at a time. Consistency, yeah.
And these guys back then were playing with not the same level of safety either.
my
Their bodies
goodness,
were taking a
right?
bigger beating. And
Oh,
they're
that's
doing
true.
this year after year after year.
Nope, that's
Yeah.
hey, listen, that's all needs to be taken into account, right, Jay? That's
like
why
the
we play the
helmets they
game.
use are the ones we give kids for
I
like
know.
replicas
to cover
and toys,
the helmet
you
as
know?
a safety. Yes.
Right? Wear this to the game. That'd be funny.
All right, Bart Starr, does he stay? You say yes.
Yes.
You say?
I think so, yeah.
All right, Bart Starr stays at 6, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to take a quick break here on the Q Now. When we come back, we've got to figure out the last 5 of these best quarterbacks of all time ranker review that we're doing. We'll be back on the show right after this. The Q Now, welcome back to the show. Mark Bland, Jenna Roberson, and our friend Jason Kull sitting in, talking to you. Why are we soft in the middle? Why? Why, Jason? Why are we soft in the middle?
Filled with goo.
We are in the middle of a ranker review. Best quarterbacks of all time. And my screen went dead.
No!
What is
kind of
going on?
I am
Here we
filled
go.
with rage.
Are you an Android?
I think no. I'm an iPhone.
Oh, you're one of those people.
Yeah, those people, the best. All right, number 5 on this list. If Bart Starr is staying at number 6, number 5 on this list is Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers. 1-time Super Bowl champion as well as Super Bowl MVP. 3-time most valuable player, 2011, 14, and 20. First-time All-Team Pro.
Yeah.
9-time Pro Bowler. Not in the Hall of Fame.
He should have more Super Bowls.
He
with
should.
the teams he had.
He should have more Super Bowls, but
I don't know
unfortunately, you
how
got to
he
deal with
played
what
in
he's
them,
got.
But I don't know how he played in them, so I don't know if it was his fault or not. I'm just saying.
I do feel
those
that Aaron
Packers teams should
Rodgers.
have won more than
I do
one.
feel that Aaron Rodgers is probably one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
He is.
Top
He
five.
is. He is.
And if he's in at number 5,
He
he
stays
definitely deserves to stay there. I feel that's fair.
Bart Starr just caught other teams at the right time with a talented team.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers just straight up lost games.
And he grinds, man.
Doesn't mean he's any worse
Aaron
than-
grinds. Aaron grinds like Brett did.
Yeah.
He really does.
Yeah, just keep throwing it.
I haven't seen
Sometimes
the
it gets
list all the
picked
way
off.
to the top, but I can tell you this. It wouldn't surprise me if Brett Favre's in here somewhere.
Oh.
Wouldn't surprise me. Number 4.
His problem is interceptions.
His problem is stealing money.
And showing his
That's a
wiener.
good point. It's showing his wiener
That
to
too.
girls.
That too.
Right? Co-workers. Hey, I
Number
just met
4.
you.
Number
This is
4
crazy.
is what I would consider football royalty. Peyton Manning of the Indianapolis Colts and Denver Broncos.
He's good.
Yeah.
2-time Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, 5-time NFL Most Valuable
Straight
Player,
up good.
5-time MVP of the NFL. Like 5-time.
Solid.
Just so good.
Super Bowls with 2 teams.
14 Pro Bowls.
That's classic, right?
4 NFL passing touchdown leaders. NFL Hall of Fame already.
Right.
Already.
Right.
And he played with Aaron. Him and Aaron and those guys all played at the same time with
Yeah,
Tom and all
yeah,
them. Like,
yeah.
that's all the same time period, guys. Is he better than Aaron? I would say so.
He is.
I would say so.
Who did the Broncos beat when he played? Was that Seattle that they beat?
It was Seattle.
Was it? Yeah.
It was Russell Wilson's
Yeah.
second. They were, or was that their first? Might have been their first, and they lost it, and then they came back and beat Tom Brady
Yeah.
in the end zone. Remember?
Yeah.
They didn't, or they lost. Did they lose? They lost.
They lost because they didn't run the ball. They threw it. Wilson got picked off.
Maybe that was one of Broncos' losses. Like the Broncos went and lost. That was the first Super Bowl for Russell Wilson, and then they won. They beat Peyton when he was running the Denver Broncos.
Because he won one with the Broncos.
Yeah, and he lost. I think he
lose
went.
one, too?
I think he went to 2 with the
Okay.
Broncos.
Have to
I
look
think he
that
went
up.
to.
I don't know. I'm blanking on that.
Okay. So I'm going to say, yeah, he stays at number 4.
Yeah, talented guy.
Number 3, Brett Favre.
How is that possible?
Super Bowl champion, 1-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time NFL Most Valuable Player, 3-time First Team All Pros, 3 Second Team All Pros, 11 Pro Bowls, not 14, because Peyton had 14.
Yeah.
The 1990s All Decade Team, the 100th Anniversary All Time Team.
He kind of became dispensable at the end of his career where Peyton Manning going to the Broncos.
And I
was
think
still
he's
a
in the Hall of
deal.
Fame, right? He is in the Hall of
Probably.
Fame.
I mean, thing with Favre was what I said before when I thought he wasn't even going to be in the top 10 was the interceptions, the inopportune interceptions because he just refuses to tuck the ball. You know,
Talking about Favre, yeah.
they call him the gunslinger, but sometimes it's like, yeah, it worked out for him, but sometimes it's like,
I feel
man,
Peyton
you got
should be
burnt.
ahead of Favre.
I agree.
think so too.
I really do. I think I'm going to put Peyton up into number
Right.
3. Favre, you're going to go down. And that puts us at number 2. Peyton's got to go up against Johnny Unitas. Pittsburgh.
That's football. That's like Babe Ruth.
Born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Right.
Never played for the from what I know. I could be wrong. I think he only played for the Colts and the
Colts.
Chargers.
Yeah.
But the Baltimore Colts. 3-time NFL champion.
Yeah, both teams are wearing a thing. for
Super
him.
Bowl 5 champion with the Colts.
Right.
NFL Man of the Year, 1970. 5 first-team All-Pros. 10 Pro Bowls. 4 passing yard leader. 4 passing touchdown leaders. And 2-time passer rating leader. The NFL's All-60th team, the 50th anniversary all-time, the 75th anniversary all-time, and the 100th anniversary all-time team.
All right. He was a guy like my grandpa would talk about, you know?
Right. Like he was there, Peyton Manning.
Yeah, like he was a man's
Is
man.
he better
you know?
than Peyton Manning? I don't know. Peyton's got more Super Bowls.
Yeah, I mean,
Also, I feel that Unitas is probably like he gets his NFL championships in 58, 59, and 68. He's Super Bowl 5 champion, which is like, what, 69?
yeah.
So, like, he was really good almost a decade before.
Like
Yeah.
the thing with Unitas is, I guess Peyton Manning is kind of like Johnny Unitas was for me to my kids. a guy that played 20 years ago. Where Peyton Manning, like it was, played back in 2000, early 2000s, Peyton Manning started. So my kids are, at the age where they grew up their entire life. Peyton Manning's been a quarterback in the NFL.
All right. Johnny United, stay or go?
I say stay.
I say Peyton.
No pressure, Jay.
I say Peyton.
I say he has to stay just because.
Yes.
Did you just cheer that? Stop this. Stop this insanity.
Face off the thing.
Positive reinforcement, yes.
No. Ridiculous.
Jeez.
All right, Johnny United stays at 2.
Yeah. He's
I think
like
we all know who number
and
one
I
is
think
going
we
to
all
be.
know who number 1 is going to be. And I
Yes.
think that's odd. And listen, I think it's fair that he is number 1. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I am surprised I didn't see Joe Montana in this list.
That's what I'm thinking when we got up here.
Now,
You could have replaced Favre
I'll go
with
back.
him, and Joe
I'll go-
Montana might have won.
I'll go back. We started at 10 with Patrick Mahomes. Before him, we said Jim Kelly. Warren Moon was at 12.
Wow.
Joe Montana's at 13.
Wow.
Behind Warren Moon.
I guess Montana just did things big in the big moments. Maybe he wasn't all
But no,
around
that's not
great all the
fair
time.
because Montana's a 4-time Super Bowl champion.
All right.
A 3-time Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah,
So of the 4
that's what
that
I'm
he played
saying.
in, he was a Super Bowl MVP 3 of them.
So he basically won
2-time
3 of
NFL
them.
most valuable player in 89 and 90.
Well, there you
He's
go.
got
That answers that
like
question.
8 Pro Bowls. Dude, his numbers are
solid as can be.
ridiculous. There's no way that
He
he
just did it
should.
quietly.
I'm sorry. He should have done. You're right, man.
All right?
He
He's
did
just
it
unassuming.
quietly.
Did.
Just unassuming, just getting it done.
Tom didn't do it quietly. Social media is what propelled Tom.
Yeah, right. In the day of commercialization and everything, and
Coming in
You
number
know-
14 is Russell Wilson.
wow.
15 is Ken Stabler, and he's a Super Bowl
yeah,
champion.
yes, that's 70s right there, man. I love watching 70s football. You know what's great to do? You go on YouTube, type in Inside the NFL. Remember the old Inside the NFL show on HBO? And you get the guy, the voice of the Phillies.
Oh.
I forget his name. He did the voice narrator for the
his name too?
highlights of the NFL. I can't remember his name. He was the voice of
I
the
can hear it.
Phillies.
I can
He was
hear
the voice
it.
of the Phillies. But I love watching those because I used to the NFL Films has great camera shots and that guy's voice. And anyway, if you go on YouTube, there's 100 or more episodes of those full episodes. Free
Well,
plug.
ladies and
Free
gentlemen,
plug.
that is your ranker review. Tom Brady stays at number 1. I feel that list holds up pretty well.
I do too.
Like, that's a pretty good list of
it really
the
is.
best quarterbacks. I do feel, like we said, Joe Montana could have been in that top
Right?
5.
Joe
top 2.
Theismann.
You know,
Joe
Joe
Theismann?
Montana, everybody thought he was sexy.
Troy
They did. Joe Montana was sexy.
Right? He was
That's
on
a beast.
SNL.
I remember my mom loved him.
He was on
Loved
SNL
him.
before it was super cool and an obvious thing to do. Remember his episode? That was a great one. A classic scene where he's the friend. He's living with the guy and he wants to get with the girl and he wants him to get lost. They had like the inner dialogue
I don't
play.
think I've seen this one. I'll have to go back and find
You
it.
should watch that episode. You know what? At a break, we'll watch it.
Okay.
It's funny. There's no way it's not online somewhere.
I'm sure it
It
is.
has to be. Come on. Give me a break.
The next generation, Gen Z, Gen A, are losing their minds trying to be relevant and well-known in content-generated world that is already bogged down with too much stuff to pay attention to. An influencer got the name of her boyfriend, Kevin, tattooed on her forehead.
What a dope.
Now, this seems extreme, and it probably is, except for the fact that she believes it's her way to notoriety, guys.
There you go.
None
You're
more
right.
so than influencer Anna Stanskovsky, I think is how that is pronounced.
Right.
Stanskovsky.
You've got 12
Who got
more
her
days.
boyfriend's name Kevin tattooed in large lettering on her forehead. In a video shared on her social media, they initially got the stencil applied to her forehead before sitting in the tattooist chair, appearing to get it made permanent.
Better be a henna tattoo.
Others argue that she will still regret it even if she ends up with Kevin for life. Still, the influencer responded to the backlash saying it was nobody's business. In a follow-up video, she said, "Everyone was saying to me, I will regret that every time I'm looking in the mirror. I'm just like, I'm in love." Now,
Oh, so much, so much.
I got to ask both of you. How far would you go to make a name for yourself? Like this
I'm
young
not doing anything
lady.
embarrassing.
I'm like meatloaf.
Like, think about it. Think about it. Like,
I won't do that.
I won't do that.
that's fair. But
Like,
no.
you know, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you something.
Would you ever get somebody's name tattooed on your body?
No.
I do it for money before I do it for love, and I don't know what that says about me.
And I'm so glad there weren't phones with cameras when I was a kid growing up, or the access to cameras so easy, especially phones with cameras, internet, video. Oh,
we were lucky.
What would have happened? oh my God. I would have been in jail.
Just we've talked just their access to porn.
Right.
And the way they have
music,
to ingest
movies.
these things and all this,
We
it's
should form a buddy
so
system.
I would have
Figure
had
out
so
the
much
house.
more money.
But it was huge. It says Kevin in big
I saw
letters.
that.
Like, that's nuts.
That's just dopey stuff.
Baby girl,
right?
no.
What is wrong with you, lady?
Oh.
I want to show this to. We should, if we could bring. I'm going to bring it
Kevin's
up.
controlling women.
But how far would you go to make a name for yourself?
I wouldn't do anything that would embarrass me or people that like me, in my family.
You know, it's funny.
That's what gives you the zeros.
I was talking.
Right.
Remember earlier in the show, I was talking about
what would you do
this-
for money?
How much money?
This is the time to listen to this show.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, this show is based off the fact that I ended up getting popular.
Yeah.
And Jason was a part of the days before the Elons took over, when Mark had all of his verification and everybody was attacking Mark.
Twitter was normal.
And
and
you know,
it worked.
there's
Everyone
it's
liked it.
Jeff Tiedrick, right? You know Jeff
Yes,
Tiedrick? Yeah. We love Jeff Tiedrick. What about Brooklyn Dad? Brooklyn Dad, too.
Brooklyn Dad, yeah,
What about the
they're-
Krasenstein brothers? Oh,
I
yeah.
had to mute those guys. They're too much
They're
for me.
too much for you, right?
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
they were just too
Well,
much.
guess
I
what,
just couldn't
ladies
do it.
and gentlemen? Shh. I got to shh. It's time for this shh. Here we go. Shh. For all of you political influencers out there, the way I was able to get to the position I'm in with a syndicated political radio show on Fox News stations and CBS radio affiliates is because I made a name for myself in politics, specifically in social media, back in like 08, 09, way back in the day. And by the time Twitter came along, I just easily walked in there and that was over. And then I conquered Twitter too. And at one point I had over 100,000 people following me, chiming in on my political opinions. And it was way before those guys, because those guys are today. They're now. 2023. I'm talking about like 2010, 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Like a while ago, like a decade ago. That's how I got here. That's what we're trying to say. Like, this is the best time to listen to this show. And we're not trying to make a name for ourselves. We're just trying to give you guys great political talk. And I don't know if tattooing anything on your body would ever equate in value to what I've gained from the things that I attempt to do in media and broadcasting. Like, I don't see an equation there.
Yeah.
So there's no value in me getting something like that tattooed on my body. Would you ever get a neck tattoo, Jenna?
Personally, no.
Never. Okay. What about you? Neck tattoo?
No.
Even if it was something that you wanted that was like relatively, it could be really a cool design or something.
Something that I might eventually get something on an arm if it drops.
But that's
down.
about it.
But I'm not going to get anything on my neck. I think it would be hard to.
I wouldn't put a person's name on my body, much less on my forehead, because now, like, you do look that in the mirror every day.
Right.
People are going to see that wherever you work and stuff. Like,
could you imagine?
It's going to get a name for you now for this 15 minutes when people know that you got your tattoo on your forehead.
Right.
But then you just become like the guy who's got his entire head tattooed and he's got like a snake tongue and everything
Right?
else. Like,
and
you're
all
just
that's
that
going to
guy.
happen is you're going to get fentanyl money.
That's it. Fentanyl money. That's all you get.
That's as high as you're going to get.
That's
where
as
you
high as
can,
you get.
you can afford
No
fentanyl.
heroin. Yeah, fentanyl, not heroin.
Right? You pay
don't
off the
get-
trailer.
No,
you've
no,
got fentanyl, and
no
now
heroin.
you're dead.
No heroin though.
No heroin,
No heroin.
fentanyl.
Fentanyl only.
Yeah, pills are safe, and then you're
Yeah,
dead.
you gotta be
That's
dead.
what happens. Now you're dead, and you got a
That's
stupid
it.
tattoo
We gotta
on your
go to a
face
break.
at your funeral.
Listen, no, I gotta shut you off. We gotta shut you off. We've got to go to a break. This is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back on the show right after this.
The dark side's calling out, nothing is real. She'll never know just how I feel. From out of the shadows, she walks like a dream.
12:80 a.m. KYRO 102.5. WIBH. Slip to the dark side across our line. The QNow. Mark, Jenna, and Jay. On the dark side. You ready, Jay? Here we go.
All right.
Woo!
I loved this movie when I was a kid.
Oh, I
man.
loved
This
it.
movie is great.
Man,
The sequel
I
was
loved
good
it.
too. I even liked the sequel.
Right?
But the first
I was
one was
ready
better.
for the
Eddie
sequel.
lives.
Yes.
Eddie
Yeah.
lives.
Eddie lives.
Nah, listen,
Yeah.
listen.
How did you not tell it wasn't him? He didn't even have glasses like Superman. It
Had a
was him.
beard.
Listen,
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
a icon in the world of Gen X is definitely
Eddie and the Cruisers.
Eddie and the Cruisers.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like that is, listen, underrated because it's a really good movie.
It is.
Like that's
Good
got
movie.
a great storyline to it. I love the twist, all of it. It's good.
Love.
It's good.
Sad.
I have some letters from listeners.
Uh-oh.
Some are angry.
So I want to read these to
Is
you.
this like mean tweets?
Well, sort of. Kind of like mean tweets.
Oh, man.
We hope Jason dies. A comedy.
Mark, I just don't know who else to turn to on this, so I'm writing to you. Now, back in the day, I would, and you're all welcome, Mark, at theqnow.com, TheQNow.com.
Yeah.
That's my email address. Email Mark at theqnow.com.
Do it.
Send me an email if you'd like. And if you have a question, like I used to offer it up and tell people, hey, listen, love advice, sex advice, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Love doing it on the show. We love discussing these topics. It's fun.
We're going to tell you how to
It's
do
edgy. It's cool. It makes you feel good about
Yeah.
yourself.
It's
yeah,
sexy.
This is how you do
it's
it.
sexy. That's right. All right. Mark, I just don't know who else to turn to on this, so I'm writing to you. This is a letter that I've had received in the past.
Start at the top, work your way down.
I know you all have had some experiences with cheating and might be able to help me out. Well, unfortunately, I've never had experiences with cheating, except for, I don't know, the closest I've ever gotten to anything like that in any of my relationships.
I always studied hard.
Did you ever get cheated on? Did you ever get cheated
I
on?
didn't cheat.
Did you ever be cheated on?
No.
Have you ever cheated
I
on
don't
a
think so.
guy?
No.
What about you? Cheated on a girl?
I think
You think
probably.
you did?
when I
Yeah,
was
Jay, you
when I
sound
was
like a dude who would
kid,
cheat on his girlfriend.
Yeah,
When
I'm
I was
sorry,
a
dude.
kid,
I
you
might have. I
know,
just don't
like,
remember. Yeah.
You know, I mean, what do you call cheating, though?
Going out with another girl and kissing on her and making out with her?
Are we talking
Oh, that's
emotional,
cheating?
physical?
Yeah, that's cheating, bro.
How's that cheating?
Well, you're with one and then you do things with the other. It's the definition
Yeah,
of cheating.
but so if I play for one baseball team,
Right.
and I want to be better at baseball,
Right.
for
You
that
have
team,
a relationship
so I go,
with
so
another
I go
person
and
that
I,
is not your wife.
Jenna, would you
with
nail this
the
man?
then I
permission
go,
of your wife.
I go and I practice with
Then that's
another
not
team to
cheating.
get really good at baseball for my team I play for all the time.
Okay, LeBron,
Is
calm
that cheating?
down. Calm down.
I just want to be good for that team. There's only so many people.
The
to play
Lakers
baseball
only
with.
need one LeBron. That's all I'm
We
saying.
only need one power forward, sir.
All right,
I just tried to help.
let's get into the story here. My boyfriend of 5 years cheated on me 3 weeks ago.
Ooh.
It doesn't matter how I caught him, but he had slept with a woman from the office 3 times that he's admitted to.
In a week?
Is that the
Go,
rule of 3? So it was
dude.
probably 9.
Right? Look at that guy.
He said it was a mistake and stupid and he'll never do it again.
Yeah.
I believe him, and we are
How
going
it
to
is.
work it out.
Good idea.
Yes, we are still together. My problem is I cannot get past the fact that he was intimate with someone else. When we are together sexually, it's all I can think about. This incredibly intimate act and the things that he does to me and I do to him. I just can't stop thinking that he shared these exact same experiences with another woman.
Well,
And yes, I'm thinking of a very specific things, and I'm sure you know what I mean. How can I get past that? Do I just put it out of my head?
Talking about butt
Should I
stuff?
break up with him? Can you please help? Okay,
I
let's
don't know.
tackle this, guys.
I'm sure before that woman, he was with some other woman. So, I mean, when you first met him, you could have thought of that. Just the thought of him with someone else. He already had been.
Like, do you want like sound big sister advice, or do you want like you need to kick in the ass advice?
Right.
Like,
Kick in the ass advice. That's what I would do.
I don't know. Hit the road, whatever.
Girl,
Who cares?
run.
There's so
Run.
many
You
people
think
in the world.
you think she should break up
I
with
think
him?
she should run.
Yeah, go find something else. There's so many people.
Well, yeah. I
in the
mean,
world.
if he's cheating, you've been with you for 5 years.
Unless you're super comfortable.
If at 5
just like,
years
whatever.
you're not comfortable enough within the relationship to not do stupid things like that, then you're already thinking outside the relationship.
Yeah, and
you're
obviously-
beyond it. I think Jenna's right. You might have to cut this one loose.
And if you haven't addressed this to the point that it's still bothering you
Maybe the
while
guy-
you are currently engaging in intimacy with this person, you are not working through it.
you're
burying it.
Yeah, you're burying yourself.
You are burying it, and you were giving him a permission slip to do it again because he had no consequences.
Maybe the guy really needed a promotion or something.
Like, if you're going to try to fix it, you have to try to fix it. You don't just throw it under the rug. Mm-mm.
What if he
Now,
was
she
helping
didn't
someone
say
at
whether
work who's
their
feeling
conversations
bad?
about that would have included whether she brought it up or not, or how she brought this to his
It doesn't
attention.
matter.
I'm not saying that she wouldn't. She wants to know, does she just put it out of her mind? You say break up. I agree with you. I think break up.
Oh, definitely do not put it out of your mind.
And you actually did ask a great question. How can you get past that? It's tough. When trust has been built and then just gets slammed and thrown around and dismissed, it's tough to come back from that.
That's why it's called work. It's not impossible. If you really want to, you can, but you guys are going to have to fix each other, and either you grow together or you grow apart.
That's true. Jay,
Yes.
what do you think she should do?
I had agreed that she should just move on. I mean, it's
Dude.
been 3 weeks and she's like seeking advice on it still. Come on,
Yeah,
3
it's
weeks.
bother her, and that's okay.
You don't know what bothers you about it?
Yeah.
I mean, if
She
it wasn't-
does. Oh, she
She
knows.
knows.
She
Because
knows
she
exactly
likes
what
it.
bothers her.
She secretly likes it.
Thanks, Jason.
She's
Thanks.
crazy about
You
it.
had to ruin this Hallmark moment.
Hurry
All
up
right.
and kiss. This movie needs
I was
to be
going
over.
for an Emmy.
I saw this post from a lady friend on socials. Okay.
Yes.
And she said, if I pay for your dinner,
Ooh, okay.
I am in no way serious about dating you at all. Like,
What does that mean?
ever. Now, at first, I thought she was being ridiculous, but the comments from the other women were all in support of this concept.
What does that mean?
Is this a red flag for a first date?
So I could get tons of free dinners? If I was
Probably.
a single guy? Because I'll show up and they'll be like, oh, God, I'm about
If the woman pays, does that mean she's not into you and has no
Sweet.
interest?
I feel like one of our great secrets just got revealed.
How cool is that?
Jenna, is that true?
Where was this when I was a
if
single
this is
guy?
a first date, yes.
It's a first date.
It's a-
It said first
It
date.
is. We don't want you to be confused about any obligation you think we owe us, and we also want it over quick, fast, and in a hurry. So we're going to go ahead and pay and get out the door.
Why do I have to be so charming?
I never knew that. And you said it
These
felt like we
women
were
want
letting
me to
like a cat
stay.
out the bag.
Nobody paid for
I've never
me.
heard anyone actually put it out there so simply like that. But yeah, if it's
No.
the first date, that's usually like,
No female has
Wow.
ever paid for me that we didn't like share.
Yeah,
a bank
I never
account.
had a woman pay for me at
Like
any one
unless
of
we
my
share a
dates
bank
ever.
account, then it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
there you
know
go.
what I mean? Like
No,
we
my
both
wife-
have a debit card. Who cares if you? Who
To be
pays?
honest, while we were dating, my wife has paid at times for different
That's what I'm
things, but
saying.
was just. It wasn't like she took me on a date.
But a
or
long
anything
time
like
before
that.
my
We
wife and I
been
were
together for a
married,
long
we had
time.
a shared
paying for
bank
things
account.
for like that's my love language. Like I'll
Right.
pick up the tab or
Yeah,
I'll buy
sure.
dinner here. That's not.
I know.
But unlike a first date,
But on a first date, it's a totally different
yeah,
meaning.
it
is
doesn't necessarily mean
done.
it's terrible. It doesn't mean they despise you. It's just like you're not clicking, and I'm just gonna go ahead.
Okay,
I got to be at work
okay.
early or something. I don't know. It depends
you know,
what you're doing.
I know people who have separate bank accounts with their
I do.
wife.
We do.
And husband.
But we have one joint, but we also have separate.
I have joint.
Yeah, me too. But they have two. They have their own.
Yeah.
She has one.
I
he
think
has
my
one,
brother
he
might
has
be
one,
like
she has
that.
one.
I'm not sure.
What is money the number one thing people argue over in
I don't
marriages?
know. Who knows?
So take that out of the
Probably.
equation. You put your money together, you pay the bills, and how they spend their money and how you spend your money on your outside stuff is up to you.
Right. That and
That's fair.
Yeah.
watching.
What foods
Mm-hmm.
did you guys eat as a kid that you would never even think about putting in your mouth now?
Hands down, I know the answer to this.
What
when
is yours?
When I was a kid, I used to go down because my grandparents lived behind me in the summer because my parents worked, and I'd hang out with my grandparents and watch baseball games and eat sardines on crackers.
Oh.
Okay.
Mustard, packed mud.
Yeah.
I ate them all the time. I couldn't eat that now. There's no way I could
There's
eat that
no
now.
way you
no
would
way.
ever even try.
I don't think I could. But I chowed them back then. I loved them. I
ate
don't
them
know
when I
what was
a
going on
kid.
with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Anything with you?
I hope I'm saying this correctly because I loved it as a kid, but I can't do it now. It's Braunschweiger.
Braunschweiger.
Correct.
Braunschweiger.
Melly cheese.
Braunschweiger. No, that's
Yeah,
fine.
like I loved it as a
Sausage.
kid, but now just like the
I do not like Braunschweiger.
No,
never
it's-
have. I've
I
just
used to I remember it being
liverish,
so good.
like it's
Yeah.
gross. It
With just
has
muscle.
that
oh yeah,
weird-
liver. I won't do
Yeah.
livers.
It has that- yeah.
I won't do livers.
never-
When I
don't
was a
like
kid, I
livers.
could eat liver and onions. I don't think I
never
could
did.
do it now.
I can't. For me, canned ravioli, like
Ooh,
the
yeah.
canned raviolis.
I could eat
the
that now. 'cause It's like
slimy-
170 carbs.
It's just no, but it was just disgusting. Or spam.
Yeah.
For me, spam.
Yeah,
I used
I
to
never
eat
really
spam
ate
as a
that.
kid, but I won't eat
had
spam
spam.
now.
I've seen people grill spam before. There's ways to do it.
They use a
It's
lot down on
online.
in the islands of Hawaii. They used it with a lot of their.
Yeah, it's scientifically
yeah.
processed alternative meat or something
Is
like
that
that.
what it is?
I think that's what it stands for.
All right,
Alternative.
this
meat.
could be an interesting one.
It
This
sounds
one-
like a rat. It's rat and crows. Eat up.
now,
Eat up, soldiers.
there are hills people are willing to die on, Jay.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Jenna,
Those.
I will die on a hill such as utensils need to be at the end of a buffet table. So many places put them at the beginning of a buffet, but at that point, you don't know what utensils you quite need yet at a buffet.
Good idea.
And yet,
You could drop
then you
them?
have to carry them around the whole time.
And
Madness.
you have to-
Absolute
yeah.
madness. Sorry.
When you're done, you're done. You don't need to put them down 40 times.
Jason knows another hill I will die on. Iron Maiden does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. It's not a good band.
Yeah, that hill's about to end in a year.
I'm not saying that they don't have a good song here or there, but
So many good
overall,
songs.
they're not a good band.
good songs.
They suck.
It's awesome.
Sorry. Are there any hills you guys will die on, but they're smaller, insignificant things? Like the
No.
utensil thing
I
for
know
me?
there
Because
is.
think
I'm
about
trying to
it.
think of
Like
what-
whether you just want utensils as long as you're getting buffet food, you want utensils. Now, I just have that pet peeve of at the beginning versus at the end. I think it should just be at the end, make it easy on everybody. Because then you ain't got to carry extra anything.
That is
Duh.
true.
Yeah.
I will die on a hill that Democrats are better people than Republicans. They
That's
just
fair.
are.
No,
By
that's
and large,
fair.
they just are.
I think that's
the
fair.
things they stand
Jay-
for,
Jenna, do you
the
agree with
things
that?
they put up with,
Do you agree with that statement?
the
that he
thing a
made?
Democrat would put up with
I'm not saying
is
you'll die on
not-
that hill. I'm just
No.
asking if
is
you agree.
not the same as what a Republican would put up with.
I'd say based on voting priorities, it does seem that
Like-
Democrats favor we and Republicans favor me.
Yeah. Like
Okay. That's fair.
Democrats would not put up with George Santos. Look
No,
what,
no,
look
no,
what
no,
the
no, no,
Senate's
no.
doing
No.
to what's his face in New Jersey? What's his name?
Oh, I forgot his name. Yeah, this is the second time he's been brought up on charges.
Yeah,
of
I mean they're Bob Menendez. They're trying to put
Menendez,
him
thank
out.
you.
They want
Yeah.
him out.
Robert Menendez, right?
Yeah, and they want him out. They want him gone. Republicans would be like, "Ass."
They're like, hey, we need Santos's vote. We're not
Right?
getting rid
That's
of him,
100%.
Right? Surprised he's not a chairman or something now.
Weasels.
I saw this post, and this one kind of caught me off guard. Okay. This person said, I won't buy fruits and vegetables at the very front of the bin at a grocery store.
Okay.
I always pull them from the back of the bin because, well, I don't know why this got stuck in my head like it did, but for years it has just been in my head that the fruits and veggies at the front of the bin are at fart level. People are gross, and I'm convinced that they're getting crop dusted on daily. I feel like more fart-free fruits are towards the back.
That person needs to work for NASA. That's Batman. That's the world's greatest detective. How did you come up with that?
You think about
I'm not going to lie
It's
to you.
impossible. That person, you know what? That person, they came up with they invented a crime, farting on vegetables, and now they've invented the crime fighter.
Well,
themselves.
listen. When I read that,
The world's greatest crime.
it caught me off guard because I kind of thought for a second, like, yeah, like that
That's
kind
true.
of is true,
It
though.
is.
The
I never
ones
thought
at the
of it.
front, they're right there by everybody's butt. Technically, when they turn around this way or whatever, you can fart right on them. And they always say, remember what Republicans always say, the masks don't work. It's like a paper diaper. If your underwear can't stop a fart particle from coming through, or how's the mask going to stop COVID?
You know what
How's
we
it
should
gonna
do?
Stop it.
We should do an Instacart order for the show and order some fruit and put on the instructions, don't get it from fart level. And see what the response
There's
is.
an extra 20 in it for
Right? Like, was this at fart level, sir? Tell the truth.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, It is time for us to get out of here on the Q Now. First off, I want to thank Jenna Roberson for coming on the show. Thank you so much, Jenna. We appreciate you coming on every single time.
Yeah.
You're going to be back on the 22nd.
Yes.
That's right. We got John Keeney, right?
Keeney, yes.
Keeney.
Candidate for U.S. House District 2 against Ann Wagner.
Oh, and her hair. We'll talk about her formidable hair.
Net.
That's right. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
She's the ozone killer.
Jason Kull, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yes.
And I want to thank all of you out there. Make sure you check out the QNow.com, TheQNow.com. Old episodes, new episodes, and everything in between. And that's going to do it for us here on KYRO, the blowtorch of the Midwest, as well as WIBH. We love you all out there. We will see you guys on the next show.
Burning bright, I fought a blood to signal to the sky. I still wonder, there's a message get to you.